You are along for the ride with the Mad Dog and Cole, the coordinator, Farrell.
Cactus, the original turn marker.
I decided to fly through the air and live in the sunlight and enjoy life as much as I could, and that's just what I'm doing.
Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure? Stay calm. Wait.
Man, oh man, thank you so much, Mr. Evil Knievel, for those inspiring words. What a way to start. Just flying through the air, living in the sunlight, and enjoying life. You know, we don't got to fly through the air, but we all need to take a little time to live in the sunlight and enjoy life.
Yeah, and if you're going to fly through the air, you know what you want there are first responders.
Yes.
And this podcast would not be possible without our brave men and women of our armed forces and our active military, and of course, our first responders, the reason we get to do this fun podcast. Thank you to all those men and women for keeping us safe here on the home front and letting us do this thing.
Absolutely, and huge respect for the families of those that gave all, the MIA, KIA families. Huge respect. Thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice. We appreciate you greatly. God bless our troops. God bless America. Before we get started, if you follow us on social media, you will notice that our templates have changed to pink. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. That's something very near and dear to my heart. Ladies, get them checked. If you want to help out, check out the National Breast Cancer Foundation. They're one of the highest rated nonprofits with the most amount of money going to breast cancer assistance for patients and research. You check them out, Google them, find their website. Man, if you care about your lady, support her tatas. Reminder, get that mammogram, get it early, always stay checked up. Man, before we get into the meat and potatoes of this, we want to be sure and thank our incredible partners, always helping us out, always hooking us up with the goods. Of course, Kicker Performance Audio, find them online, kicker.com, on Instagram at Kicker Audio, or on YouTube, Kicker Audio. Check out their Unmasked live broadcast.
That's every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday on YouTube and Facebook. You can find them on Facebook at Kicker. Of course, Bomber Floating Eyewear, Bomber Safety Eyewear, and Bomber Eyewear. Find them at bombereyewear.com or on Instagram at Bomber Eyewear. Man, you will not believe the amount of choices you have in selection, styles, lens colors, lens differences from ANSI 87 OSHA approved safety lenses and a dark smoke polarized like eyewear to, your regular just barely anti-glare clear safety lens to unbelievably bright and shiny red and blue and green lenses that are polarized and anti-glare. I've got them all thanks to our good friends at Bomber Eyewear. Check them out, bombereyewear.com. Of course, the Premix podcast, our man Cole sharing his passion for all things desert racing through the lens of a camera, and also available for MC and announcer work, be it off-road, weddings, divorces,
Backyard barbecues,
bar
bar
occasional
mitzvahs.
backyard MMA fight. Hit him up. at the Premix Podcast on Instagram. That's the at symbol ThePremixPodcast. That could be a new record for getting through that.
We're all about speed.
Yeah, for sure. And of course, Kelsey Morrell Film. Our YouTube channel would not be possible without Kelsey Morrell Film. Find her on Instagram for all your film making, film editing, and professional photography needs on Instagram at Kelsey Morrell Film. As mentioned on our social media, those incredible templates, the video clips, everything that we have out there on social media is thanks to Hey Keeks Marketing. You can find her online, heykeeks.com. You can find her on Instagram at Hey Keeks Marketing. If you need help with anything from a website built to website management, all the way up to social media influencer campaigns or social media campaigns, social media sites built, yell, Hey Keeks, and find her online, heykeeks.com, on Insta at Hey Keeks Marketing. You know, I want to thank Cole, thank our loyal listeners, couple of extra shout outs. Watson's, love you greatly. Mr. McDonald, Rob.
International, Mr. International.
Yes, what's up, eh? Thanks for listening, you guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for sharing us out to your friends, having your friends listen. We're grateful and thankful to see the growth that we've had. And man, we just keep planning on making crappy content as long as you're going to listen. So thank you so much.
I like how we went from, if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, to we're going to keep it crappy and we're going to keep it going.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is we're just going to keep it real here.
We're honest. We're
for
honest
the
about
ride.
it.
Yeah, we just want you to be along for the ride on this crazy thing we call life, and our whirlwind merry-go-round of tornado mindsets. Thanks for playing. Cole, give him the speech.
Make sure to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite streaming platform.
Yeah,
if you want to.
Yeah, and share us with your friends.
And do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Dude, I want to get right to this because you had a big weekend last weekend.
First and foremost, I want to comment on your shirt. I love it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah.
For those who are not watching the podcast, we have the Along for the Ride edition kicker shirt. It's badass. It reminds me of On Any Sunday, and looks like Troy Lee himself designed it.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Yeah, and it's comfortable. And with that, if you go to kicker.com and go to apparel, they have this design on the back of a really comfortable long sleeve shirt, along with tons of other kicker gear.
Get yourself a shirt, get yourself a tumbler. While you're at it, get yourself some 12-inch subs and an amp, and have a good old time.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, so let's get on to your weekend. Dude, I know you had the country party Friday night.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. You and Lady D out there singing the twang and enjoying the country. And I know how much sleep did you actually get that night before you headed for the race?
Oh man, so we went and saw Jason Aldean on Friday here at 5 Point Amphitheater, and great concert. Never seen him before. Obviously, the man's a showman, and
yes,
it's fun because he's, at the time of this recording, still a pretty big deal in the news. So luckily we got the tickets when we did. Thank you, Ron and Janet, for those, because the prices absolutely skyrocketed. But to answer your question, I was finally laying down in bed at 12:45, and the alarm went off at 4. So I don't know, almost a little over 3 hours.
Wow. That's a good night's sleep.
For you, yeah, but for me, I need all the beauty rest I can get. So. Yep. So, sorry. Go ahead.
So you hopped in the old Ford effing Ranger, and
2001 Ford Ranger
made the
Edge.
haul.
Made the haul.
equipped with a kicker amp and 12-inch kicker comp subwoofer. Carry on.
Absolutely. Yep. Comp C. It's got the 500 water in there, and it's a gorgeous setup. I'm going to change up some things here, of course, keeping it with kicker, but we'll get into that off the air. It's very exciting. But
Excellent.
yeah, so got in the Ford
Yeah.
Ranger, and man, I'm usually pretty good with like being low on sleep, and I think that's what you have to do to just be a successful person in general.
Yeah.
But I swear, I left the house at 4, and I don't think I was even awake until around 5 when I was heading through East County, San Diego. It wasn't until I got to the 8 where I was finally okay, finally found my bearings, you know. But I would definitely, I definitely like to get over the 8 and get through Alpine before the sun comes up. That's my thing. I like to have the music on in the dark and have the KC lights on all by myself. It's kind of it's my pre-race ritual when going out to Plaster City. But
Yeah,
got out
very
there,
nice.
yeah, I got out there about man, I made a great time. I was there about 6:30, which is about a half hour earlier than projected. But I guess I'm starting to learn the route and start to get my markers down as we've done this, 6 or 7 times already this year. But
Yeah. Hey, for those listeners who don't know, tell them where Plaster City is.
Plaster City is very, very east San Diego. It is west of Yuma, kind of smack in the middle. And if you throw a football too far, you'll hit Mexico. So that's right off the 8. Pretty close to Mother Glamis and Buttercup, for those who know where Glamis is.
Very cool. Very cool. Why is it called Plaster City?
Well, I'm going to sound stupid, but I know they make plaster out there.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if you're quizzing me or
Makes
if you
sense.
didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a big plaster factory there with a pretty big rail yard and stuff, which obviously I'm a sucker for. So it's the
Right.
perfect place because you got off-roading and trains. I mean, it's my paradise. But
That's awesome. So you got out to the track. Young Jake Young was already there, I'm assuming, along
Yeah,
with the rest
yep.
of your team.
He was supposed to be out there the night before, but had a little hiccup at home and trying to take care of a sick girlfriend. So he was a little late getting out there, but still earlier than dude, I think the guy left at 3 in the morning or something for his 11 o'clock moto. But if you can't sleep, might as well just get on the road, I guess.
Heck yeah.
Sure beats being late. But yeah, he had an 11 o'clock start time. 10:30. He got to practice the bomb run, which once again, I know that's a weird term, but it's the first mile of a desert race course for motorcycles. You get to practice. It's a safety thing because if you get stuck in the dust doing 90 miles an hour, the promoters kind of want you to know where you're going. And
Right.
the racers have that mutual agreement as well, that they would like to know what's going on. He's had a 10:30 bomb run, and Jake is, I hate to sound like the old man on the porch, but he's so much like me in the way that you could have your race will be at 11 and 10:40 he wants to be on the line,
Right.
And luckily my dad's been at the Grand Prix to say, nope, stop, chill, don't. All you're going to do is just wear yourself out sitting out in the sun and the wind. The cool guys would be the last ones there to roll up. But that's why I wanted to be there first,
Right.
But Jake came in from the bomb practice and it was so funny. He said the first corner goes right and there's 5 big gotchas going to the corner, but it's a shorter distance. So I'm like, okay, so you're going to go right. And he says, well, no. If you go all the way to the left, it's way the hell out there and it is way smoother and people aren't seeing this line. It's like, oh, so you're going to go all the way left. Yeah, I'm going to go all the way left. So that's what Jake ended up doing. And he got a really good start. He thankfully has that new Electron carb, so we can get rid of that Chinese thing that was on there. Thing was a nightmare. Luckily, the bike's not shooting ducks anymore. It's not spitting and sputtering. It actually starts when you hit the magic button. So good for Jake. Had a great start. And man, for a desert race, this is a really short one. It's only an hour, so it's basically a Grand Prix in the desert, if that makes sense. It's
Sure.
a shorter loop. It's about 10 miles as opposed to having two 40-mile loops you're doing.
I was just going to ask how big the loops were. So,
Normally a cookie cutter is a 40 and a 30. You have a wide open 40 and a technical 30. So this, like I said, it's literally a Grand Prix in the desert, 10-mile loop, however many you can do in an hour. And man, Jake came in and he was battling 95X. Shout out to Dominic. He's been a pain in my ass all year. The kid's really, really fast. He and Jake were having a great battle. They came in together. The first lap, second lap, same thing. Of course, Jake's like a dang watch. I mean, he's just right on time. Every one of his laps was within 20 seconds of each other. Well, the third lap came. Here comes Dominic, and it's like, okay, and where is Jake? Because he was, and then we had that moment of, well, maybe we missed him. Did he pass him, and then we just didn't see him coming through the pits, and then we all realized, no, that's not what happened. So, unfortunately, Jake did go down after battling for a little over 30 miles. Had a big get off. He said he felt the big tank swap. Said it felt left, right, right, and then he saw ground, sky, ground, sky, ground, sky.
oh,
And Jake's really maturing, because I know I wouldn't even done this, but he said I sat there, felt my fingers and my toes. I took my time. I slowly got up. I sat on the bike. I took my time, put my goggles on, and which is so much harder to do in that heat of the battle, because you just want
yeah.
It doesn't matter what parts are missing. You just want to kick the bike over and keep going. But he sat there and said, okay, I'm going to figure this out. So eventually Jake got going again, but man, it was just to kind of fast forward a little bit. It's so crazy to have even close races in the desert, unfortunately. And the fact that those guys were battling for so long was so exciting. And Jake cracked me up, because he was the first one to mention. He goes, man, it felt like the Destry Abbott Ty Davis battle, where it was like, well, one of us is going to win and one of us is going to implode. And unfortunately, it was his day to implode. But yeah, so unfortunately, because of that, Dominic came in and got the white flag at the 40-minute mark, and then Jake right behind him got the checkered flag. So unfortunately, we got 3 laps when Dominic got 4. So that's obviously an automatic. Dominic is just on a victory lap at that point, just has to finish. So glad Jake is safe. He ended up with P2 out of 15 in his class. These boys are eminently going to get moved up here very soon, because you shouldn't be a novice class basically in the top 10 overall, but just shows that they're talent and they're doing it right. They're moving their way up the ladder. Jake is safe. The bike needs a bit of love, and it's unfortunate. It just seems to be the rhetoric this year of throw money in a jar, because you're going to need it after the race.
Right.
Just one of those years, but I like to joke with Jake. I said, "Dang, dude, that was a $400 plastic trophy right there." So I hope it's pretty cool. but yeah, everybody's happy and healthy, and egos are a little bruised. But once points are on the board, if you took the crash out of it, okay, you got a P2, and P2 would honestly be a little disappointing straight up. But the fact that he had this amazing Evel Knievel fly through the air, living in the sunlight moment, and the bike was still able to cross the finish line and him still get points, huge day. So this has just been, and it sounds so cliche, but this has just been such a roller coaster year. It seems to be win or crash or break, and that's just what it's been. So there's 3 rounds left, but yeah, Jake's still in good spirit, and Dominic came over after the race and said, "What's up to everybody?" And everybody's just such good sportsmen in desert racing. So it was a very good weekend.
Awesome. And I'm assuming that Jake and Dominic are probably relatively close in overall points also.
Yeah, it's almost confusing, because they're 1 and 2, 2 and 1, 1. It just depends. I mean, every single race, it seems to just absolutely go back and forth,
which makes it even more exciting. I mean, that's not something you're going to talk about, right? Till, usually till the season's over is how we were, but that the individual race, like you win the war by winning each battle,
Mm-hmm.
and how you persevere through adversity makes a big difference, and things like he took his time, he got up, he got on the bike, and rode it out to the best of his ability. And I'm sure he was hurting. Having been there, I know he was hurting, but he probably wasn't hurting. It's
Yeah, yeah,
such an adrenaline rush.
absolutely.
Like
It's
if
when
you think you have an adrenaline rush racing, crash and then get back on the bike
now
and
you're
try and
really out of breath.
control it. Yeah, yeah. Try and control the flow and in your body, and just um but kudos to him. That's really mature um way to like recover, if
Yeah,
you will.
absolutely. Yeah.
And fantastic job to you guys. I mean, you kept them up there all day. Obviously, you probably didn't have to fuel, but like once or zero
No, it's zero. I mean, we did
goggles
this race
swapped,
last year, and
anything.
even with the horrible carb, didn't have to do anything. So now this Electron just absolutely sips fuel. So it was kind of one of those races, just like the Grand Prix, where it was where you say, okay, if he comes in, there's a big problem. Oh, and I'm glad you
Right.
said that, Lauren, because Dominic freaking had to pit on lap 4, and we wouldn't have. So that
Ah,
that really chaps my ass too. So
yeah. Yeah, it's like I told you when we talked about it though, if it was if there wasn't adversity, it'd be called winning,
yeah, yeah,
not racing,
yeah,
right? So,
yeah, and definitely not literally taking nothing away from Dominic. It's just so funny. Those two guys are two different worlds because I swear Dominic's got to be 15 or 16 years old. His parents bring him to these races. He's got a brand new, beautiful YZ. I mean, the dude is obviously talented. Like,
right.
he's got such a good support system behind him, and he can go out there and shut his brain off and just hold the thing wide open. And you have Jake, who's on the total opposite side of the spectrum, where you know, he's got a job on Monday,
Yep.
actual backbreaking work. He drove himself there. He's got a girlfriend at home waiting for him. So it's so funny that this battle, these two guys with one of the same common goal, are just two totally different worlds. So that makes the story kind of fun too.
Yeah, that definitely adds to the story without a doubt, and it's really cool to hear you talk about, the basically take us along for the ride, if you will, through the race and through the situation. And you know it's a great job to get up, dust off, and finish it out. Because at that point, I'm sure he didn't know he was going to pull P2. He was, if he was anything like me, if you went down when you got back up, you were sure you were in P dead last minus five,
Right. Peeling you off the
and
cacti.
yeah. So, well, I didn't have to deal with cacti, but thankfully,
Metaphorical.
but yes, so to speak. But yeah, man, what a great job, and congratulations on the podium. I mean, it's still, yeah, it's not the top step, but it's still a step on the podium, and you had to be there. So, I mean, you're still on the podium, right? So it's important to be on the podium, especially when you're in the points race. But it's better than 15th.
Absolutely.
And the other side of that is, I mean, yeah, you're building points and you're building podiums and you're getting $12 plastic trophies. But it really speaks for the character of your rider and the character of your team to have a big dust up and be able to finish, anywhere near the podium, but yet on the podium. That's great. Great
Yeah,
job,
I
guys.
definitely appreciate that, and definitely not going to undersell that. But I got to be totally fair because of the format of this race and who's actually on the bike, I mean, that's 100% Jake, right? In this round, especially because we didn't have to do a darn thing. We checked the tire pressure, checked the chain leading up to it, did what we needed to do, check the spokes. And other than that, it's like, send them out. It's in your hands now. It's between you and God alone, because we're sitting on the tailgate drinking silver bullets at that point.
Well, but the fact of the matter is, if he needed you, you were there. So
Absolutely, yes. We had
no
duct tape
question
and
about
stuff.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. So nah, that's super rad, dude. And great job pulling it out. My grandpappy, God rest his soul, used to tell me, you know, you're never your character will never be judged on how you deal with the easy stuff. When things go to crap, how you deal with that will make a big mark on your life. And that's, a prime example. And just to touch on what you said, people may have wondered why the fingers toes, but if you've never been down hard on a motorcycle, or a side by side or anything else for that matter, fingers and toes is like the first thing in the checklist. Like, you know, always, I always did that. You wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, check your neck. Yeah.
If you pass those three, you're so
Yeah.
far doing pretty damn good.
Yeah, exactly. If you've got those three, you're practically perfect. If the bike survived, you might as well get on and go. So I've been there multiple times in multiple areas of motorsports, unfortunately and fortunately, because that's what they teach you. You got to check and make sure everything works before you just hop back on, because you don't want to like not be able to hit the brake or shift or something. So
Yeah, and the lawyers aren't going to like this, but say you've never been in a wreck like that, and maybe you're in your car right now. Go ahead and jump out, and you'll get a pretty close experience of what if you jump out of your car, make sure it's going at least 30, and report back.
Yeah, I guarantee you, it's not fun.
It's like you've been there or something.
Yeah, I've actually done it intentionally. I've jumped out of cars intentionally at that speed, but
You can just break up with them, right? You don't have to bail.
oh man, that is solid gold right there.
Well,
dude.
I didn't make that up. That one of my friends, shout out Bob, legend. Anyway,
I used to dabble way back when. I used to dabble with some stunt work also. So when I grew up, I either wanted to be a rodeo clown or a stunt man. And I'm still hoping to be one of those two. So when I grow up, right now, I'm just like a clown. So
yeah, could
there's
see you
that.
doing either. No problem.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
opportunities for both right there in Havasu. So
that's true. That is true. So yeah, man, that's exciting. That's
yeah,
exciting. You got 3 rounds left.
3 rounds left.
Do we have an update on the 24 hours of Daytona? Oh, sorry, 24 hours
24-hour
of
Daytona. We're going to do that in 2035.
right.
Yeah, 24-hour Glen Helen. It's
Glen Helen.
being we're talking about honesty here on the show. It's a little tough right now. We're having some communication issues. So there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of guys that literally don't know each other trying to put this thing together with duct tape at the last moment. So yes, it's still on. We're still very motivated to do it. It's still happening. We're just, as of this recording right now, things, as we'll call it, crew chief, feel like a total cluster cloud, because I need to wrangle the cats together to get this thing moving in one direction. But we're still moving forward.
Good. Sometimes, Cole, speaking as an old crew chief, as you said, the old man on the porch, sometimes you got to drop the crew chief hammer.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah,
you want to
no.
be the nice guy all the time, because you are just the nicest guy all the time. But sometimes you got to go, hey, shut up and listen.
No, true. I mean, we're getting to that. I mean, what it's today, August. Oh, damn, it's already the 5th. Yeah, we're
Yeah,
running out of time. We got to get this together.
it's October, by the way.
What did I say?
Sorry, August, not August.
September? No,
Uh,
I said August.
you said August. Yeah, it's October.
It's the 5th of the month that I know we're racing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The 10th month of the year.
Oh, wow. Halloween's coming up, huh?
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Halloween, I want to give a special shout out, even though I'm going to miss it this year. I want to give a special shout out to my dudes, Joe from Six Speed, the Six Speed crew, Kiwi, all those guys, and of course the general, Mr. Butts. I am really gonna miss doing Camp Razor over Halloween weekend with you guys out in Glamis. That being said, it's gonna be pretty cool to be at SEMA. And I believe SEMA opens Tuesday, and Tuesday is the 31st. So that's kind of cool and exciting. And who knows? I may hop in a Uber and make a run down to Fremont for a little Halloween spectating.
That'd be a lot of
Um,
fun. That'd be way cool.
yeah, we've been able to do it a couple of years that I've been there, so it's pretty cool. Um, on that note, as far as the SEMA thing goes, I am in process of doing a complete, and obviously you saw step one, the rewrap, but we are now doing a complete refresh um, of the Kicker Polaris Razor Turbo four-seater. I have some bitchin' wheels. Thank
Yeah,
you
they're
to
worth the
our
price of my house.
Metal FX Off Road and my buddy Glenn.
Shout out Glenn.
Yeah, we got to get him on here. Put him on the list.
He'd hate it,
Um,
but we'd love it.
yeah, no, I think he'd be all right.
We'll say it's for
Um,
the company. Go ahead.
yeah, and some brand new GBC uh, Parallax tires.
Shout out to BC and Corey and those guys.
Our man BC, our buddy Corey, and the team at Greenball/GBC Tires. So grateful for their support on this project. Um, Special shout out to my boy Marcelo from Assault Industries. I got what do I have there? Like 6 packages of refreshing accessories, and guys over at Pro Armor have some updated product coming for the car also, as it's originally started life as a pro built full Pro Armor package. Um, so I'm super excited. I'm also super stressed because, you know, SEMA, right? But I guess you're not technically you're not doing a build for SEMA if you're not working on it at midnight the night before you leave in the trailer. So there's that.
Hey, SEMA has some of the nicest stuff out there, and SEMA also has some of the biggest clown stuff out there. So don't forget to connect your Bluetooth drive shaft before you roll up to SEMA.
Yeah. Yeah. And we will not be putting on those stupid ass little skinny, little short sidewall, big rim, stick out the side.
Why have
I
an off-road car?
I'm just not on that look. Like if I want that look, I'll do it to my RC car and run it on pavement because
Yeah,
that's all it'd be good for.
even still, you'd be like, it's a little
Enough
wonky,
said.
huh?
I know haters are gonna hate, but personally, I do not approve of that look. That is not Mad Dog approved.
No, it's bad.
Um, yeah. So, anyways, other than that, starting to work on stuff for the Formula One Powerboat uh, Havasu Classic, the 2023 F1 Powerboat Championships will wrap. Um, Actually, Halloween weekend here in Havasu, and I'll be doing that and then packing up Sunday morning, running to SEMA Sunday
Oh, dang, that's
afternoon.
busy.
Yeah, so pretty excited about all that. Um, on top of that, coming up here, let me see, in about a week, just a little over a week, I get to go to Prescott Valley, Arizona, and
Enduro.
yeah, the second race of the AMA National Pro Enduro Championship Series, which I'm super excited for. Uh, Man, it'll be cool to see all those guys. And I know they're jonesing. They're running in Everett, Washington this weekend. And I know several of them are jonesing for it for sure. Um, so, it'll be interesting to see how that runs out. I talked to our good buddy Scotty Dubler this afternoon, and I think, maybe late next week we might get him on, or early the
Oh,
week after, get him on the show because he just got back from a trip to England doing some flat track and speedway stuff.
wow. I'm excited to bring up Speedway stuff with him.
Yeah, I know you are. So I know, and you missed Speedway Saturday.
I did, but I was actually out living it. So
That's right.
when it
That's
comes to
right.
spectating or doing, I'll take doing 10 out of 10 times.
Living in the sunlight and enjoying life. Yeah,
Absolutely.
right on. Um, yeah, so we got some great stuff coming up. Got a lot of cool things going on. Um, I want to take just a minute for my own kind of self gratification, maybe you call it. I don't know. But I want to give a monstrous shout out to the Striking Viking. Huge congratulations on
Yeah.
publishing her first novel.
So crazy. I know an author.
Yes. Yes, and the copies are en route. The proofs are here. I'm actually, believe it or not, folks, I'm up chapter 17 already, and it's good.
I mean, yeah. I
It is,
doubt it sucks. That's for sure.
yeah, no, it's really good. We're super excited. Um,
Where can
and
you buy this book?
I'm super proud of her. You can find it on Amazon, and if the book is called Everything and Nothing by Karina Morel. Um, and it is book one of the Everything series.
Oh,
Yes. And there is several um, hidden Easter eggs. So if any of our fans order the book and read it, you can get it on Kindle. Um, you can get it on Kindle Unlimited, and you can order it in paperback version now on Amazon. Look it up, Everything and Nothing book, and it'll come up. And man, there's some spots. It was like muy caliente. Uh, and yeah, it's just really got me sucked in. So I
well, I'm
give it
gonna
two
have to have her
thumbs
sign
up.
my copy once I ordered it. So
Yes, for sure.
got
Well,
that down.
don't order one. I got you covered.
Okay, but support the author.
But the rest of you, freaking order it, please. Um, yeah, no. If you do order it, be sure and read it, enjoy it, and leave a positive review because authors live and die by their positive book reviews. So, that being said, moving on. What do you got next? What's your next D38?
Veterans Day Dash. So that will be not surprisingly over Veterans Day. So it just
Aha,
doesn't, it feels so easy because I know what I'm getting into compared to this 24-hour. So,
right.
so there's like a castle wall in front of me, which is the 24-hour. So once I get past that, then it'll be everything else. So
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. Um, that November 11th, yeah.
I don't even know.
I
I
think
haven't
that's
even,
when Veterans Day
all
is,
I know is I'll be there.
which
But yeah,
is
that sounds right.
same as the Endurocross Redmond, Oregon. So
Yep.
you'll be down in the heat. I'll be freezing my butt off in Central Oregon. Um, and
Back to the old
probably,
neighborhood.
yeah, probably slinging chains on the old two-wheel drive dually. and running 20 miles an hour.
Well, that doesn't
But
sound fun.
if we do, we will be sure and bring you along for the ride.
Veterans Day. Well, at least the race is on the 18th. So
Ah,
that's good
okay,
for
cool.
me.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Um, man, don't really have that much exciting to cover. Um, and man, it's it's got to be exciting as you're getting down to the end of the season. I mean, you got let me see, 38. Do you finish the season? Is that the series that finishes season out here at Havasu?
No, that's it all stays within because that's district. It might be 36 where you're at, but 38 is deep Southern California. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
so this will all stay around Superstition, Plaster City. Most north they go is Glen Helen. Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I appreciate that, man.
no problem.
Dude, I think I think we're about wrapped for this one. Folks, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for putting up with us. Um, I want to give a special shout out. You may notice, you obviously, if you're just listening, you won't notice, but the video and Cole, you may notice there is a toolbox
I did.
now in my office slash
Mac, I
studio.
was just looking at that. It's weird you say that. Continue.
Yeah, so that is one of my neighbors slash loyal listeners, uh, Paul Healy. Thank you so much. He's in process of reorganizing some garage stuff and resetting, and didn't have room for that, and was like, take it. And it's already going to good use. So I'm really stoked about that. And man, I love doing this podcast. I know folks appreciate you being patient while we had to some schedule glitches while we were trying to get 56 done and get Kristen Beat on. She is somebody I really wanted to have on the podcast. Such a great person. And man, be sure and follow her on Instagram at Kristen_Beat. And you know what? Jump in and help her out with donations to the SPCA.
Especially when
And
you can run food and blankets by and toys,
yep,
the
yep.
shelter. Yep. That'd be
Listen to
awesome.
the listen to the podcast. She's got some great advice, and what a great person. So with that, ladies, be sure and get your mammogram. Check out the American Breast Cancer Foundation for donations for information. Gentlemen, support your ladies' tatas.
We're running pink all month.
We are running pink all month. It is a dear, dear thing to me to get out and support them. On a somber note, I want to send our deepest condolences and many positive thoughts and prayers to the Alessi family. My good friend Mike, very saddened to hear the loss of his brother. And I know it, I don't even know. It has to be devastating for Tony and Mike and the family. And man, I wish you were around so I could just give you a big old hug and tell you I love you. So um, wishing them the best.
Absolutely. And if the dude had a huge impact on people's lives in the industry, and if you don't believe me, you couldn't look anywhere this week without memorials to Jeff Alessi. And it was people I didn't even know that knew him posting about him and all these fun memories. And he was, you wouldn't know it, but he was massively into training young kids and molding their careers. A lot of people have a lot to thank the Alessi family for. So yeah, rest in peace, Jeff, and thoughts and prayers to Tony and Mike and the whole gang.
Yep, absolutely. With that, man, thank you so much, Kicker Performance Audio. Find them online, kicker.com. Bomber Floating Eyewear, Bomber Safety Eyewear, Bomber Eyewear. Find them online at bombereyewear.com. The Premix Podcast. Find them on Instagram at ThePremixPodcast. That's at the Premix Podcast. Of course, Kelsey Morrell Film. Find her on Instagram at Kelsey Morrell Film. And man, oh man, even got new business cards designed by her. Just one of the little things that she does. Hey Keeks Marketing. Find her online, heykeeks.com, or on Instagram, Hey Keeks Marketing. With that, Cole, parting statements.
Parting statements. Oh wow, really on the spot here. I'm sad the season of Speedway is officially over.
Wah, wah, wah.
Until next year.
Yeah, I know. I've been enjoying their social media for sure.
Great job this year, guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And maybe next year I can actually get out and
Yeah.
sit down in the box in the Premix podcast or the Premix podcast box suite and catch some turn four dirt.
Get some dirt in your coffee. Yeehaw.
Yeah. Woo. Sounds good. With that, thank you so much, Cole, for everything that you do for us here at Along for the Ride. People have no idea the hours that you spend doing this. And I thank you for being just a great co-host and producer and calling me out on my Glen Helen flag hanging on the wall.
We'll continue that conversation off the air because I know some people might want that back.
Mad Dog out.